Hello, everyone. My name is Azadeh Eshaghi, and welcome to our group Cross Connect Your Interests to Grow, and especially to our today's lunch talk. And it's the first one, by the way. Right now, I'm waiting for Vaida to enter the group. And as soon as she enters, we can start our conversation. Oh, yeah, here she is. Hi, Vaida. Nice to see you.
Yeah, it works.
Hi, this is perfect. Welcome to our very first lunch talk in the group Cross Connect Your Interests to Grow.
Thanks, my pleasure.
Great to have you here. I just want to explain why I'm doing this. The aim of this group is not only collecting group members and just to spread some information. One of the most important goals of this group is to introduce the group members also to each other so that they also can cross-connect with each other and maybe also cooperate with each other. And I think one of the best possibilities, instead only writing down comments and text with introducing yourself, is using these tools like Facebook Live or Zoom and connecting all these possibilities and to introduce each other or your own businesses and your ideas and interests in a live interview. I think it has a more lively and natural touch. So this is the reason why I chose this tool. So I would like to say a few words only about you, Vaida, and then I would ask you to introduce yourself. Vaida Ališauskaitė. I don't know. Do I pronounce it right? Okay, I don't know. She is a co-founder of multiple startups, and she runs also her own web agency, Webmobics, and she's very active when it comes to networking as well. So that's how I know her, through my network. And I'm very glad, Vaida, to have you today in my first lunch talk. And yeah, please introduce yourself.
Thanks. Yes, so I'm a co-founder and CEO of, as mentioned, web agency, Webmobics. And inside the company, we also have two products for payments and for cloud, which I see in the near future that they will become separate standalone solutions and also will be formed separate companies from them. And next to that, I'm also a co-founder of two other ventures. One is in marketing, location-based marketing, and the other is in eBill, which is related to payments. So development of applications, web and mobile, marketing, payments, it's somehow scattered, but also connected to each other.
This is great.
So lots of interests.
Yeah, so because the idea of the title, Cross Connect Your Interests, this is very well shown in the variety of the topics you cover with your startups or with your projects.
Yes, exactly. And to cross connect them, I started not so long ago. Before, I would just very easily run into ventures, start something, but sometimes it would feel like these topics are so distant from each other and I would not relate them. But lately, I found myself so busy and overwhelmed that I thought, so how do I actually make them work all together? Otherwise, it's very time consuming.
Okay.
So now all the strategies that I create is like, okay, if I develop one feature in one place, how can I use it in another place? That became
this is a great idea, yeah.
Yes, okay. Cross connecting interests as well, because business is business, but also personal interests matter very much, especially when you are a founder, when you really enjoy networking, then you try to also make it part of your life. It's not just business, it's life itself.
So how do you network actually? Because networking is actually for everyone, no matter if you are working in a company for someone else or if you're running your own business as an entrepreneur. Networking is always very important, and building connections and relationships. And how do you maintain actually your network?
So my main networking way would be to go to events because I enjoy it. It's a different location, exploring places, meeting people, physically talking. That is my main preferred way. Of course, at the moment, it's reduced to minimum. Actually, I don't network right now through, for example, live interviews like this. I think maybe it's a good idea also to wider usage. But yes, so I now have a
You
little...
mean right now during the COVID period of time? Okay.
Exactly. And I'm waiting till we can just go out and network, all of us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. But otherwise, I mean, before COVID?
Mainly events. I would go to maybe one event per day, several events per week.
Per day. Okay.
Yes, if there is a day without an event, it's kind of boring day. That was my...
I know that feeling.
So I was very, very active, and I'm still just now it's a bit different.
Yeah. Okay. And then the events you're talking about, what kind of events are these? Are these, maybe you can explain what kind of, how you can categorize those events?
Usually,
how do you find them?
So there are several platforms and communities. So platforms like Meetup, like communities like, for example, Impact Hub, like accelerators, for example.
Yeah.
So
I must add, the accelerator is a network for executives and entrepreneurs that a friend of mine, Sven Tibus, and we founded it together. So before we had other networks, and then it ended up in accelerators. And
yes, and it was one which I really, really loved from the very beginning. So I did not
thank you.
So it was just my favorite.
Yeah. Sven, did you hear? She loved it. Okay.
And so, yeah, these kind of events where the organizers say that you can come and meet new people would be one category. Another category is when there is a presentation, for example, and a lot of people come and then listen. And then, of course, like there is an apero and then you network.
Yeah.
Other kind of things is workshops where you get to learn something. And as well, during that, naturally, you meet new people.
Exactly, yeah.
So everywhere, all the time. It's just
maybe even better in workshops. You even, because you have to, usually you have to work in teams with other people. So you get much more closer than otherwise. And I think it's also a very good idea, yeah.
Exactly. And the part which connects, I guess, is the sharing part. When you get to share with others, like your outcome or your problem, and then the others do the same, you get to know them. So it's not only just talking to the person next to you, but sharing with the whole group. That kind of extends your networking immediately. Like,
yeah, exactly. And do you also use any of those social media platforms? I mean, obviously you do, but which one and why or how?
LinkedIn would be my preferred one, favorite, because myself, I get a lot of messages on LinkedIn mostly. Facebook, a little bit less, but I'm trying to be more present on Facebook. I think it's also very useful for business. Instagram, it's for me more for personal sharing, like some inspirational things.
Yeah. Okay. Great.
But I prefer live anyway.
Sorry?
I still prefer live.
Live, yeah. Me too. I think a combination is very good.
Yes.
Because with a live, okay, if you go to an event, you see the people. But sometimes, or not sometimes, if you use platforms like LinkedIn, you have the possibility to reach on a virtual or in a digital way or online way people that you would never meet in your environment where you're living or working in. So it's very interesting, above all, if you would like to network or work more internationally. And then I think LinkedIn is a very, very good tool. And in addition to that, you have also the possibility to spread your information, your contributions you make, like writing articles or things like that. It's much easier to spread it around. with tools like LinkedIn. While if you go into a meeting, yeah, there you cannot go and give out handouts with your articles and your products. You cannot do that. I think these are two completely different platforms for networking. Each one of it has their own advances. Yeah. And so you have to really know, okay, what do I want to do, and which platform or which channel is the best to do this or that.
Okay. Yes. Also, I think live sessions like this, for me, it's the first time experience in my life. So I really am a little bit excited as well. But
for me, it's also the first time I'm doing it. So yesterday I was still testing everything, and I'm happy that it's obviously running good. I don't know. We will see later.
This is also something nice, and what you can do also in these times, just to get connection with people, even if you don't see them around, but then you probably will get some comments or some questions on that. I think it's also a good way to network.
Yeah.
But still.
Yeah, and that's it. I think right now we have with all this pandemia, we have it's a bad thing actually in so many points, but we have also to see the possibilities it brings up. And one of the points is that we are kind of forced to change our thinking, change our mindset, and also change our way of working and connecting and networking. And yeah, it's good because so many people want to do things like this. Exactly. I'm the best example for that. I'm planning something like that for months.
And now you just
I never did it because I had always something that I was more important. So now I said, okay, this is now the time that I have to do it, because I anyway wanted to start a group like this and starting interviews on a virtual level. So I think it was a very good push for every one of us to make a step forward into to the digital working.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah. I have another question. You said that you work with different teams before, when we were talking about all of your startups and the groups or teams you're working with. How was your strategy, or how came that you found, first of all, your co-founder or co-founders? And how did all these things around co-working and collaboration, how was it? Please explain a little bit. How did you find these people?
Yes, I would talk about in 3 different cases. So for my agency, we started to work together with my co-founder when I just simply asked him to help me a bit on one project and on another. And it was so good because he actually did it very fast and very easily, that I started thinking, why not to have it always constantly, that, working together maybe would be easier, better to grow and so on. At that time, I had a company, but more like a one-person company, like a freelancer. And so I invited him to work together. And I was looking then for bigger projects, more challenging, where it would be too much for myself only. But since then we will be working too, then it would be good. And also for him, these kind of projects which I started to acquire were interesting and challenging enough. So
okay. And how do you complement each other? Because there are so many people who say, okay, I have so many things that I have to do and I need someone who help me. But in fact, they are looking for assistance. They are not looking for a partner. It's in fact an assistant that they are looking for. And it's a completely other level of cooperating. But what you are doing, you're working on the same level. So how do you complement each other, or your knowledge or your abilities and tasks?
So we have a very easy understanding of each other and communication. I used to be responsible for everything. Now he's responsible for technology. I don't have to care about it. I'm responsible for business. He doesn't have to care about it.
Okay.
So we make decisions in our fields and we communicate this to each other. So that's very smooth. That's very easy. Takes like 5 minutes to update one another. And as you said, it's a very big benefit to work at the same level.
Yeah.
Then you don't have to manage or control another person, and you both go like full force, being best of yourselves and just collaborating.
And then both of you work on your baby. It's not like I'm doing something for the project of that person. And
so the main difference between co-working and collaborating is that when you co-work, you just do your thing. Everybody does their thing. Yeah. Collaborating is when you share the same vision, the same name, the same values.
Exactly. Yeah. And this is very important to differentiate.
Yeah. And with another co-founder, we started talking. So first of all, a friend introduced me to him, suggested that you should talk with Vaida. He wrote me a message on LinkedIn, and somehow it sounded like I'm working on something very exciting now. Would you like to learn more? And I thought, no, he's going to sell me something, push something. No, not really. And I didn't reply. And then that friend somehow started to ask me, hey, did you respond? Why not? And so on. And then I thought, okay, I'll be polite and respond. And so we agreed to meet. And when we met, actually, I found his idea is really great. And not that he wants to sell me something, but he wants to do something together. So that then now turned into a joint venture. So I'm very happy that I actually went for that.
Yeah.
But the beginning was like my first reaction was, no, what shall I do there?
Yeah. But this is a very big lessons learned, I guess, right?
Exactly, yes.
Because it happens very often that we receive messages from people and we reject, and we even don't reply, and we even don't read till the end of the message, because we think, okay, it's another person who wants to sell me something and I'm not interested. So, but in fact, maybe the story behind this message is, or something that could come afterwards, is something very precious and something very important for us. But if we don't give the chance to learn more about this person and to really to connect and to build a relationship, we will never have the chance to go a step forward.
Exactly. But it takes a little bit of, I don't know, a skill to understand, is it a sales intention or is it not? And also from the other person, it's useful to phrase the message so that it's not really seen as sales. If you don't to go to the point from the very beginning. If he would have written me more about his idea, not like, are you curious? Then I would probably responded to him, yes, sure. If that
he just could write, okay, I heard about you, or I saw you here and there, and I think maybe we could collaborate together.
Exactly.
So I think this is maybe also some important point for other people who want to contact some special person to really collaborate together. To write the message in a way that it doesn't, as you said, so that it doesn't sound like, okay, I want to sell something, but I want to collaborate with you. And it's a completely other perspective, and very, very important.
And when we network, it's the same. Like, I think there has to be a mix of some curiosity, space for curiosity, but also some details which allow you to understand, is it something for you? Does it match with your interests, with your values? Do you want to
Exactly, And do you like this person? I mean, if you meet someone and right from the beginning you say, okay, no, I don't like, there is no chemistry, like one says. So then, okay, it's another story. But it's important, I believe also that it's very important to be very open and to give everybody the chance to at least show what they do and introduce themselves. And if you want to network, you have to be open. If someone is not open and actually don't want to share and always thinks about, oh, someone is selling me something, I don't want any advertisement. I mean, okay, so then go home and shut off every door and window and don't use your TV, because you have always someone who is sharing something, and this sharing of information, like we do here, can also be as advertisement. But in fact, in this group especially, we are sharing information. It's not about selling. It's sharing and inspiring each other, and it's about
connecting. If there is
cross-connecting, exactly. I mean, now I know exactly that what you do is for sure interesting, at least for 3 people that I already know being in this group. So because they are more or less doing the same things, and I think there can be created very interesting connections, and you never know what happens after that. So after getting in touch with people.
And it all depends on you, basically, how far you want to go, how you follow up, what you're open for, what opportunities you create yourself. So sometimes it's about inviting others, sometimes to accept an invitation.
Yeah. So do you sometimes invite people to, on LinkedIn and, for invitation contacts, invitations?
I do sometimes. Sometimes when I meet someone at a networking event, yes.
Yeah.
But most of the times I just accept invitations.
Yeah.
And I do accept them very easily, unless it's obvious that it's something that not what I want to have in my network, and it also happens. But otherwise, I easily accept new connections, new friends, because you never know. First of all,
you never know what is behind a person.
Yes.
Yeah.
A lot of tales of 50 or 100 plus developers in India and so on. But those messages, then if it's not interesting for me, I ignore. However, there was one such message, but it happened to come at a very good time when I really need a development support. And something's wrong.
For me here, everything seems to be okay.
Another screen popped up. So I was actually in need, and at that day I received a message and I responded, and then we started to collaborate with someone in Poland, and
great.
Just because they wrote the message in the very right time. So that was the real thing, and we made a real partnership.
Yeah. And what is your biggest lesson learned, or biggest or most important advice that you would give other group members when it comes to networking?
Be open would be one. Maybe it's an advice combined of several.
Yeah, you just go ahead.
I know which one is the biggest. But to be open, to allow something to happen, to allow the spark to happen. And then the next, and also as much important, is to follow up. So not to allow the spark to go down, but to continue. I think those are two
building connections.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because it's, networking is not about collecting contacts, because just collecting contacts, it's a waste of time. It doesn't help anybody. It doesn't help. It just is waste of time. And this is my opinion or my experience. Networks start being useful if you really nourish them with your contribution, if you take care of the relationships, if you start building some kind of relationships, if you're really interested what the other person is doing, and if you keep continuing, not only sending one message now and maybe in 2 years again, how are you doing? I'm still here and I need, by the way, a job. No, this is not networking. Networking need a lot of time. So I totally agree with what you see.
But following in this case, sometimes it happens also unusual things. Like this would lead me to the third case of how I found my third co-founder, or co-founders, 2 co-founders. I met one of them at a workshop of Scrum Master. And then 3 years later, he came back to me to say hi, just out of nowhere.
Okay.
And he said, I'm thinking of quitting a job and starting something new. Would you be interested to be a co-founder? And I said, yes.
Yep.
After 3 years.
But I think after 3 years, that's okay. But the thing is, he only came after 3 years to you because his first impression was very good.
Yeah.
And I think somehow he was still in contact with you, maybe through LinkedIn.
So how I was posting.
So
for
he was
probably,
the
yes.
first impression was already very good. So the first impression or the first contact was already building something up. And then from that moment, I guess, I don't know this case, but I guess that through the time, he was seeing what you're doing somehow. And then he remembered, because he had already a very good impression, or let's say impression and memory of you.
Mm-hmm.
So he came back because you was already contributing all the time through social media.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah,
you show that you're there. This is maybe another kind of keeping contact, but it's still, it's important what the first impression was.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, to win some space in someone's mind.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think communication is something very, very important and essential in networking. And openness, as you said.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. So thank you very much, Vaida.
Thank you too. It was a great experience. Actually, I love this format which you chose. I think it's very relaxing and makes me, for example, be open. I usually find difficult to talk to a big group of people, but when one, it's amazing. I think it's great format.
Okay. Thank you very much. I will continue with this lunch talk, and I will also test some other possibilities and to see which one works best. Today we have the combination between Zoom and Facebook Live, but yeah, I will experiment a little bit. This is my very first live interview that I'm doing, and for me also it was very exciting, and I'm still exciting to see the results afterwards on Facebook, to see what is in fact.
Please give us feedback and comments.
Yeah, we'll see. I would be happy to receive some feedbacks from the group members. Yeah, so thank you very much, Vaida. I hope that we can see each other very soon at the get together of accelerators or somewhere else, no matter where. And if you liked, you can in the comment of this video, you can put your LinkedIn name or your link to your LinkedIn profile. So if people want to contact you, the group members prefer to contact you on LinkedIn, they can do so. Otherwise, you're also here linked on your Facebook profile.
Yes, and thanks for creating this group. I see a lot of value.
You're welcome. It's a great pleasure. Okay, so thank you very much and goodbye, everyone.
Yes, have a nice day. Bye.
Thank you, you too. Bye.